This police officer was fired because, during law enforcement, she mistakenly took an innocent passerby for a criminal and beat him up. She was reassigned to the complaints office, and on her very first day at work, she encountered a girl who had been hit by a motorcycle. What exactly happened? The girl came to the office looking panicked, as if she had something to say but didn't dare to. Just then, a group of men appeared, and the girl immediately grew nervous and hurried out. Distracted and frightened, she ran out the door and was struck by a car. Officer Ji-hai rushed to rescue her but soon discovered from the girl's phone that things weren't so simple. It turned out the girl's indecent photos had been taken and posted online. The post even claimed that if it reached 30,000 likes, they would release the video. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Ji-hai hurried to the hospital to investigate further. The doctor told her that traces of sedatives were found in the girl's body, making the case even more suspicious. Just then, Ji-hai ran into one of the girl's classmates, who mentioned something strange. They had gone to a nightclub together and met 4 handsome men. One of them claimed to work in the perfume business and got along particularly well with the girl. But after the classmate stepped out to take a call, the girl disappeared. Ji-hai immediately asked Wang Jing to investigate the shady website, but Wang Jing refused, saying it was too troublesome. Then she went to another colleague, who told her, "This isn't your business. Don't go looking for trouble." Left with no choice, Ji-hai returned to the complaints office. Her sister-in-law and their colleague with glasses were thinking about the recent spate of young women's suicides and realized how serious the matter was. "If no one else will investigate, we'll do it ourselves." Soon, they tracked down the car involved in the case and followed it to a hotel. Ji-hai rushed to the hotel, asking to see the surveillance footage, but the attendant claimed the footage was missing. Ji-hai said she was investigating a voyeurism case. Just then, a man stepped out of the elevator and accidentally dropped 2 cameras. The attendant joked, "Nowadays people even use pens to secretly film." As he spoke, several pens fell from the man's pocket, then a few pairs of glasses. Then several mini-cameras and button-sized recorders tumbled to the floor. Good grief, it was like unpacking a spy kit. Ji-hai immediately realized he was the culprit and chased after him, but he escaped quickly. Meanwhile, the colleague with glasses tracked his position through surveillance cameras. The suspect was escaping on a scooter. At that moment, Ji-hai's sister-in-law showed up on rollerblades. She used to be a well-known police officer and had received many commendations before transferring to the complaints office after getting married and having children. Worried Ji-hai might not handle the suspect alone, she rushed to help. With a sharp turn and a perfect slide, she pinned the man to the ground. He quickly confessed everything. It was a new type of drug called magic perfume. Once sprayed on someone's face, they would faint instantly. It turned out that the recent wave of female suicides was connected. Those girls had been drugged, filmed indecently, and blackmailed. The victims would regain consciousness about half an hour later but be unable to move during that time. Ji-hai and her sister-in-law traced the source to a beauty shop suspected of distributing the drug. They changed into new clothes, disguising themselves, and went to the shop. As soon as they mentioned wanting the new kind of perfume, the shop owner seemed to understand and led them to the back, only to pull out a gun. Soon, a group of thugs entered, including the owner of a nearby clothing store. They had already known Ji-hai was a cop and planned an ambush. 2 officers against 5 armed men. What to do? Ji-hai noticed an electrical socket nearby, quickly tossed her flashlight to her sister-in-law, and poured a drink into the socket, instantly cutting the power. Using the flashlight in the dark, her sister-in-law, with years of combat experience, managed to take them all down. Soon, their colleagues arrived and took the suspects away, happily calculating their performance points and dreaming of promotions. Just then, the colleague with glasses called. Another suspicious car had appeared at the same nightclub where the last incident happened. Ji-hai and her sister-in-law rushed to the scene, but their teammates refused to go, saying, "Even if we catch them, it's just another voyeur. He'll just pay a fine and walk. Don't waste your energy." They left them behind. Ji-hai's sister-in-law then asked, "Why are we investigating this case? Is it because we pity those girls? Or because we feel sympathy as women?" Ji-hai replied, "No, it's because we're police officers, and a police officer's duty is to catch the kind of scum that preys on others. Don't say anything, just do it." Soon they arrived at the nightclub, but because Ji-hai's sister-in-law was older, she was turned away at the door. Ji-hai changed her hairstyle, tied her hair up, and instantly transformed into a retro-style beauty. She walked into the club alone. The beautiful Ji-hai was quickly spotted by the criminals and was invited to drink with them. Ji-hai noticed that one man had the same tattoo on his arm as in the clandestine photos. She knew they were the culprits. That as she turned to take a call, she was drugged. It turned out the criminals had already been tipped off and knew Ji-hai was a police officer. They dragged Ji-hai outside. Her sister-in-law, who had been waiting outside, saw this but was intercepted by a group of thugs. On one side was Ji-hai being taken away. On the other were the ruffians causing trouble. With no other choice, her sister-in-law fought them off and gave chase. But legs can't outrun a car. Luckily, Ji-hai's brother arrived in time. Seeing his sister taken, he pursued them. Half an hour later, Ji-hai regained consciousness. The criminals were preparing a new batch of the drug and intended to test it on her. When Ji-hai mentioned she was investigating the videos, the gang leader sneered. The videos were just a side game. Their real goal was to harvest members' information to sell the drugs. Ji-hai broke down in tears, asking how those girls were supposed to live. How could these people have any conscience? They brought out the drug and were about to spray it on Ji-hai when her sister-in-law arrived. The thugs charged. Her sister-in-law knocked some down, but the gang leader, a skilled fighter, shoved her to the ground and kicked her repeatedly until she lost consciousness. The leader prepared to finish Ji-hai off, but his men stopped him, warning that they'd been discovered and urging retreat. The criminals bound Ji-hai and her sister-in-law and, before leaving, threatened to burn them. Fortunately, they managed to free themselves and escaped just before an explosion. Covered in grime and shaken, Ji-hai returned to the station, only to find her colleagues celebrating, hugging each other and excited about promotions, apparently unaware of the recent female suicides. Ji-hai was furious. She asked them why they wanted to be police. While they celebrated performance metrics, what about the victims whose lives had been ruined? In anger, she grabbed a colleague's gun and pressed it to the criminal's head. At that moment, the section chief stood up, took off his badge, and ordered, "Gear up, full team, bring them back." Meanwhile, the mayor, a former criminal investigator, had been moved by Ji-hai's sister-in-law's bravery and promised full support. The precinct mobilized and quickly tracked the criminals' escape route. The colleague with glasses reported the gang had bought plane tickets to the Philippines. Ji-hai concluded they were heading for the airport. They sped toward the terminal. A colleague located the gang leader and warned that all the videos were stored on his phone and would be uploaded imminently. Only 32 minutes remained. Thanks to the tip, Ji-hai accelerated and rammed into the leader's car. The leader tried to flee, weaving recklessly through traffic. Ji-hai pursued. He barreled into a shopping street and crashed into a wall. A dead end. The gang members tried to run. The sister-in-law blocked one thug while Ji-hai chased the leader. The thug attempted to escape but was taken down by a flying kick from her sister-in-law. The leader darted into the crowded mall and slipped through shoppers. Ji-hai rushed into the mall, scanning the crowd, but it was too packed to spot him. Drawing on experience, Ji-hai's sister-in-law anticipated the leader's moves and cut him off. The two fought. The leader was a formidable opponent. Nobody in the crowd helped. People merely took out their phones to film. At the crucial moment, Ji-hai arrived and joined the fight. And although the leader was strong, the sister-in-law charged in, grabbed him, and during the scuffle, the leader pulled a knife and stabbed her. Taking her as a hostage, Ji-hai drew her pistol and ordered the leader to release her. The leader mocked her, claiming she'd never fired a shot. Fearing for her sister-in-law's life, Ji-hai tossed the gun aside. Unexpectedly, the gun struck her brother on the head. The leader froze. Seizing the moment, Ji-hai kicked away his knife. Her sister-in-law maneuvered, grabbed the leader, leaned back, and knocked him unconscious. Ji-hai then cuffed him. Those evildoers finally faced the law. Justice had not been delayed. Thanks for watching.